scientists. For today, you're going to need your scientist workbook and your science supplies. So remember this big Ziploc bag full of all this fun stuff. We're going to use this today. We're going to skip ahead a little bit because this lesson, I think, is very appropriate for the storms that we've been having. So we're going to go towards the back to this side where it says umbrella top, because we're going to talk about how do trees stay in the ground, right? We saw some trees fall over in the storm yesterday, the day before, but a lot of them stayed. And how did they not just blow over in the wind, right? So we're going to learn about how does that happen. So you're going to get your scientist workbook, find this page that says umbrella top. It's the second from the last page. And I will meet you on the other side. All right, so we have our mystery science lesson, and we're going to begin talking about trees. So listen up.
Hi, it's Doug. I want to tell you a little story. One summer, my family went on a day trip to the beach. I was so excited. We packed our stuff and got to the beach early in the morning. There were no clouds and the sun was shining brightly. Soon, it started to get hot, really hot. I wasn't used to being so hot. I decided I wanted to take a rest in the shade, but I looked around and there wasn't any shade at the beach. Now, back at home, there were plenty of trees in our neighborhood that made lots of shade, so I could always cool down in the shade if I got hot. But at the beach, there weren't any trees at all. How could I get in the shade with no trees? I knew I could create my own shade with an umbrella. My dad had one in the car, so I set up our umbrella by sticking it in the sand and opening the top wide. It created a big shady spot. But now I noticed there was a problem. It was getting pretty windy at the beach. Sure enough, a gust of wind blew my umbrella away. I ran after the umbrella and put it back in the sand. Shade. But then another gust of wind blew it away, and I realized that wind and umbrellas don't go very well together. One day, there was a lot of wind at a beach, and someone got a video of it. This is pretty funny. Check this out. Wow, the wind must be really strong. Look at all those umbrellas going. I bet it took a long time to find all the umbrellas that blew away and bring them all back. But now notice something here. Not everything is blowing away, is it? Like this beach chair, and this garbage can, and even this umbrella that wasn't open, it's lying on the ground. Watch, they don't blow away. Why do you think that the open umbrellas blow away, but the other things on the beach don't?
All right, let's see. It says, why do you think the umbrellas blew away, but other things on the beach did not? So the chair didn't blow away, but the umbrellas blew away. So I'm gonna think about it. You can pause the video to think a little longer if you like.
My umbrella was great for creating shade, a nice cool spot that I could lay down in. But on a windy day, it might blow away. I thought again about the shady trees at home. Many trees are shaped kind of like umbrellas. They have skinny trunks on the bottom, just like an umbrella has a skinny pole. Trees also have lots of leaves spreading out on top, just like an umbrella has fabric spreading out on top. Both give lots of shade. But on a windy day, trees don't fall over like an umbrella does. Sure, trees can fall over, but that's pretty rare. A breeze that knocks down an umbrella isn't going to knock a tree over. Why is that? Why do you think trees don't get blown down by the wind?
All right, so why do you think trees don't get blown down by the wind? We know there were some that fell down, but most of the trees stayed up, right? So what keeps them from blowing over and blowing all over like the umbrellas? So let's pretend to be trees blowing in the wind. Maybe that'll give us some ideas. All right, get ready.
Stand up and find a spot where you have space to move. When you're done with this step, click the arrow on the right. Stand tall as you can. Your body is the tree's trunk. Then, spread your legs like the roots of a tree. Great job. Go to the next slide.
All right, we're the roots.
Put your arms up. Your arms are branches. Your hands and fingers are leaves. There's no wind yet, so don't move. Okay, go to the next slide.
I gotta move my branch. There we go.
Now it's time to be a tree in the wind. Here comes the wind. Bend your branches and trunk. Wave your leaves in the wind. Oh, now the wind blows you this way. Oh, and now the wind blows you the other way again. Great job. Now we're done being trees. Everyone can take a seat. Discuss.
Okay, do you have any ideas about why trees don't blow around in the wind? So think about how we were able to bend with the wind, right? The umbrella couldn't bend with the wind. So think about that.
There's one more thing we can do to help us figure out why trees don't blow down in the wind, but umbrellas do. We can compare trees with umbrellas. I mean, we can look at them side by side. So let's compare their different parts. An umbrella's pole is stiff and straight. What do you notice about trees that's different?
Notice how they're bending. Okay, let's see our next slide.
Look up at an umbrella and look up at a tree. What do you notice is different?
So looking here, what do you see that's different?
Look at the bottom of a beach umbrella and look at the bottom of a tree. What do you notice is different? Trees have some interesting parts that keep them from blowing over in the wind. Why don't trees blow over in the wind? Well, you might have noticed their roots. Like if we could remove all the dirt from around a tree and see the view of its roots looking sideways, it would look like this. The roots are one of a tree's parts or structures. The roots of a tree go deep in the soil and they spread out. They help hold the tree in place. Those umbrellas we saw earlier, they don't have anything like roots. In fact, there was nothing to hold these beach umbrellas down. They were just stuck into the sand. What other parts of a tree help keep it from blowing down in the wind? Well, here's one other thing to notice. Look at the way the tree's leaves move when the wind blows. Trees' leaves can wave around one by one in the wind, rather than catching all the wind at once, the way an umbrella does. If trees had one giant leaf instead, maybe they would blow down in the wind. Okay, so there's the roots, which help trees not fall down in the wind, and there's the way the leaves can all wave around one by one. What other parts of a tree might help it from blowing down in the wind? Well, here's one last thing that I noticed. Look at the tree's trunk and branches when the wind is blowing. Do you notice this? The branches bend, but they don't break. When the wind blows an umbrella's pole, the pole doesn't bend at all. It's stiff and straight. So that's one more part that trees have that helps them to not blow down: bendy trunks and bendy branches. Roots, leaves, and branches are structures that keep trees from being blown down. It's like these structures give trees a superpower, the ability to stay up even when the wind blows strongly. This also makes them super at making shade for people when it's windy outside. So, could we design an umbrella to be more like a tree so that it doesn't blow down in the wind?
That's
What
we're gonna do.
ideas do trees give you?
So we're gonna think about what are some ways that we can make an umbrella more like a tree. So what ideas do trees give you for making umbrellas that won't blow down?
In today's activity, you're going to be an inventor and you're going to invent an umbrella that won't blow away on a windy day at the beach. Rather than making a full-sized umbrella, you're going to experiment with a small umbrella that you make out of paper. Now, because you're using paper, it's easy to try a lot of experiments. And that's good because any inventor can tell you you need to try a lot of different things to make something that works just the way you want it to. To make an umbrella that doesn't blow away, you're going to borrow ideas from a tree. You're going to look at the leaves, the branches, and the trunk and see what ideas they give you. The only thing you won't be able to experiment with is the roots. Instead of having roots, your umbrella will have an umbrella stand. All the umbrellas you make will be tested like this. Here are some umbrellas, and here's a fan to make wind. What do you think will happen when the wind hits these umbrellas? After you see what the wind does to your umbrella, you'll have a chance to change your umbrella or build a new one. I'll show you how to get started step by step. Make sure you have a test station ready for this activity. That means a tabletop and a big wind fan. When you're done with this step, click the arrow on the right.
So you can use whatever you're doing your schoolwork on as a table. That's what I'm doing. And then you can use your whiteboard as a fan. So here I have my whiteboard and I'm going to use this to make some wind. Okay.
Get your supplies.
All right, so we're going to get our supplies out. Try and do this on the camera. Okay, so you have a thing of stickers. Okay, and yours might look a little bit different. Mine are little snowmen, but you'll have a little thing of stickers, so get those out. And then you need your umbrella top paper. Okay, and you'll need one plastic straw and one pipe cleaner. All right. And let's see, your scissors. And then you're gonna need the cup in here. You're gonna use the Dixie cup. So this is the one that is in the middle. So let me show you. Okay, so there's this little plastic cup in here that's gonna be for something else. And then there's the big cup on the outside, also for something else. We're gonna use the one in the middle. Okay, so it's a Dixie cup. Yours might look different than mine, but this is what the size that you want. And it's not the end of the world if you use the wrong cup. Okay, and then you're also gonna need this little Ziploc bag of clay. Okay, so let me share really quick. My supplies. All right, so I have my umbrella top. Again, I have my clay and I have my little Dixie cup, my scissors, my stickers, and I have my pipe cleaner and my straw, okay?
Write your name on your umbrella pattern. Then, cut out the circle on the solid line.
Okay, I'm gonna write my name, Ms. Rambo. And notice they said cut it on the solid line. So I'm gonna take my paper and tear it out of my scientist workbook, okay? And then I'm gonna cut it around the circle just like they just modeled for you. It's gonna keep repeating on there, so probably easiest to watch that one. Remember the trick of turning the paper while you cut and not your scissors. All right.
Cut on the dotted line until you reach the stop sign.
And remember, you can pause at any point as well. So I'm gonna
Stop, okay? It'll look like this when you're done.
cut on the dotted line until the stop sign. All right.
Wrap the pipe cleaner around your finger to make a loop like this. Make sure the part above the loop is about as long as your finger.
All right, I've got my little loop.
Hold the pipe cleaner like this and twist the loop twice to make sure it stays put.
Okay, so I'm twisting.
It'll look like this when you're done.
Remember, you can always pause. Okay, there we go. Got my loop twisted.
Find a partner to help with the next step. It's a tricky one.
Probably okay.
Hold the paper like this and have your partner slide the pipe cleaner in until the loop hits the stop sign. Then cover the gray triangle by moving A to cover B. Have your partner use stickers to hold it in place, like this.
Okay, so you're welcome to have someone help you.
One more sticker here on the back side.
At home, I'm gonna stick this in right here to the stop sign.
You're gonna bend down the pipe cleaner like this. Now, it's okay if your umbrella doesn't stand up straight yet. We'll deal with that in the next step.
Okay, and I'm putting my little stickers on. You might need more stickers than it says because ours aren't as sticky as theirs. I'm going to put some on the inside and the outside. Right, and I'm going to fold this part down. Here's my cute umbrella.
Grab the bendy end of your straw and slide the straw over your pipe cleaner like you see here.
All right.
Get your cup of Play-Doh and push the end of the straw into it like this.
All right, so you're gonna need to take your Play-Doh out of your Ziploc bag. So I took it out and then I'm gonna push it into the bottom of my cup so that it's just kind of flat along the bottom. Okay, and then I'm gonna put my little umbrella into my cup. There we go. Now it's all ready to go.
Now everyone has an umbrella just like the ones you saw at the beach. Will they fall down in the wind? It's time to find out. Pick a few umbrellas to put on the test table and then go to the next step.
All right, so once yours is done, you can just test your own.
Let's see if your umbrellas stay up in the wind.
Get your whiteboard.
If you're in a group, your teacher will be the big wind. If you're working alone, you'll have to be your own wind.
You get to be your own wind.
Big wind. Stand a few steps away from the test table and gently wave the fan back and forth like this. Do your umbrellas stay up in the wind? Ours didn't.
All right, I'm going to show you mine. Really quick. There we go. All right, so here's my umbrella. You can see standing up like this. Let's see if I can knock it down with my wind. Ready? Oh, yep, went right down. All right, so yours is probably going to fall down right away too until we modify it to be like a tree. All right, so let's get back to our mystery science. There we go.
Now it's time to invent a new umbrella. Discuss.
So how could you change, I can never tell when he's going to say it or me. How could you change the top of your umbrella to help it stay up in the wind? So think about the tops of trees. So what could we add so that some wind could go through this so that it doesn't get caught under there and then knock it over? What do you think?
Here's something we thought about.
Okay, so it said a tree's leaves flutter in the wind, letting the wind blow through. How can we let the wind go through an umbrella top? So like I was just saying, what can we do to make the wind go through it, right? So they did some great ideas. They had some great ideas. This kind of makes me think of a palm tree, right? It has a lot of fluttery long parts. This one's kind of more like a flower. And then we got our little snowflake here. So you get to decide how you're going to do yours.
Discuss.
How could you change the pole of your umbrella to help it stay up in the wind? Think about the trunks and branches of a tree. What could we do to make it more like the trunks and branches of a tree?
Here's something else we thought about.
The branches and trunks of a tree can bend in the wind. How can we make our umbrella's pole bendy?
Now it's time to start inventing. You can either make a whole new umbrella or just change the one you already have.
We're going to change ours.
Decide if you're going to change your umbrella or make a new one. Get any supplies you need.
All right, so we have everything because we're just going to modify ours.
Change your umbrella or make a new one. Watch the screen if you need to remember the steps. Test your new umbrella.
All right, so I'm going to take us actually back to this one that shows us how to change the top part just for some ideas so you can see. I think I'm going to do a little bit of cutting myself into the top part. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, there we go. I'm going to take the pipe cleaner out so that I just have the paper. Okay. And then I'm going to do one of the easier ones where they just made a bunch of flaps. You can do whatever you decide to do, but I'm just going to cut it so that I have a lot of little flaps to flap around in the wind. Okay. And then what do you think you could do about the stem or the roots of the tree? What can we do to make it a little more bendy? I can't wait to see what you all come up with. You're welcome to do this idea that I also stole from Mystery Science, or you can choose your own. I really like the snowflake looking one. That seems kind of cool and realistic to a type of tree that might have a lot of leaves, but just some space in between. And guess what? If you accidentally, I almost did, cut off a big chunk of it, that's okay. It'll make it better at staying in the wind, okay? This is part of what we're doing. Mistakes are gonna happen. Okay, so I have mine cut so that there's lots of little floppy bits to flop around in the wind and hopefully not tip over. We'll see. I'm gonna stick my pipe cleaner back through. Okay, and then fold it over again. And here is my new umbrella. All right, so you can pause and take your time and cut this out however you like. Okay, and we're gonna carry on with our next test. Back to the Mystery Science. All right, I'm gonna skip ahead.
Discuss.
There we go. Still.
Test your new umbrella. Does it take more wind to knock it down? Remember, stand a few feet away from the test table and gently wave the fan back and forth, like you see Pat doing.
This is a really fun one to do in the classroom. I can't wait to be back with you all so that we can do stuff like this. But for now, we're gonna do it asynchronously on video. All right, so I'm getting mine ready to bend around in the wind. I'm gonna show you on my screen of my iPad as best I can. Excuse me while I flip back and forth constantly. Here we go. All right, so here is my new, almost, my new umbrella. So it has a lot of little flappy bits like I showed you earlier. It's in the clay. And you want to make sure and kind of make sure that you get it stuck in the clay pretty well, because that's what's going to do the best job of resembling roots. All right. And now I'm going to try to knock it over. Get ready. Oh, it's flapping. It's flapping. All right. It looks like it's going to stay up. It's kind of just spinning in circles, which a tree definitely wouldn't do, but okay, I'm going to try a really, really big wind. Okay, let's see. Oh, there it goes. But it did a lot better job, right? I had to really give a lot of wind to knock it over. All right, let's get back to our mystery science. You can pause and test yours. Okay, I can't wait to hear about what happened.
Discuss. Then advance the slide to watch the final video.
How did you change your umbrella to make it more like a tree? Did those things help your umbrella stay up in the wind? So what I did was added more flaps, kind of like what leaves or really small branches would do. And it did help it stay up longer, right? If you had time to make another umbrella, what changes would you make? So if you could make another one, and there is extra paper in here if you want to make another one, go nuts. But what would you change the next time, right?
So we had a problem. We wanted a shade structure that wouldn't blow over. And we tried to design a solution to that problem. We tried changing the top of the umbrella to make it more like the top of a tree. We cut it up so that it was like the leaves of a palm tree. Those are leaves that could flap in the wind. We also tried cutting holes in it so the wind could blow through. And we tried changing the handle of the umbrella so that it was bendy, like the trunk and branches of a tree. We even tried both of these changes together, a bendy handle and leaves so that the wind could blow through. Now, our old umbrella fell down right away. But our new umbrellas, check this out. Based on trees, they bent and they fluttered in the breeze. They didn't fall over. It took a lot of wind before they got knocked down. So when you're trying to solve a problem, there are lots of ways to look for solutions. There's not always just one way. One thing you can do to help you find solutions is to look at plants and animals that have solved the same problem. In this case, we looked at how trees solve the problem of not falling over when the wind blows. We looked especially at trees' trunks, branches, and leaves to give us ideas. Are there other problems that living things might help us solve? Like maybe an acorn cap could help you make a better bicycle helmet. Or maybe when you look closely at the seed of a dandelion flying away in the wind, that might help you create a new kind of parachute. Or a lizard might give you an idea for how to blend in or hide something. Next time you're outside, take a look at how plants and animals solve their problems and how they might help you solve yours. The living world is full of problem-solving plants and animals. Have fun and stay curious.
All right, I can't wait to see your awesome umbrellas. You're gonna take a picture and post it on Seesaw. Also, we're going to quickly do an activity that is explaining why trees stay out of the wind or stay in the ground when there is wind, for the most part. All right. So I have the next page in my mystery science book. Okay. And you're going to first, we're going to do this top part together, and you're going to write on this bottom part. I'm going to use a crayon because I've lost my pen in my science mess. So I'm going to write my name, Ms. Rambo. Okay, and then we're going to draw an arrow from each word to that part of the tree. So my trunk was what was my straw and my pipe cleaner, right? So there's the trunk of the tree. The branches are what are holding up the leaves. My roots are what are keeping it underground. And the leaves are what are fluttering in the wind. Okay, so I want you to think about one reason trees don't fall down. Okay, and there are some big hints in these parts of the trees, right? And as well as what we did to make the umbrellas more like trees. Okay, but this one's going to be up to you. So think about one reason that trees don't fall down And so you'll have two places. You'll take one picture of your umbrella and then one picture of your paper once it's complete. All right, scientists, awesome job. Thank you for joining me for our very first Science Friday.